Hello, TOC Town Local. Thank you for joining me once again for another session of instruction production where we continue to shop the stash and look for things that I've purchased or been given as a donation over the years. Upcycle them. Definitely, this is a sneak peek of season 7. So, what I post, what we find as we continue to take inventory and take note of what I have in store for you, what I'll be giving away, and how we can repurpose certain items for upcycling. I apologize if I'm a little nervous. We've had so many issues within the past couple weeks. In addition to the East Coast being hit with a blizzard, I'm in the Midwest and we were hit with a slew of IT issues. So the original video that I recorded on, the sound was horrible, so I decided to do a voiceover instead. So if you see the video is a little bit out of sync, it's unintentional, so I wanted to make sure that this got out for before the next month. Okay, so you know that I'm a Loyola alumni, and in 2017 I'll be celebrating 25 years since my graduation. So fast forward that and then I'll backtrack. So fast forward that 25 years later, I volunteered for working with a lot of youth groups, and I was given these college boards notebook. I have no affiliation with them. I don't work with them. I'm not receiving any compensation to post this video. So just to let you know as a disclaimer, what I did was decide to make little bullet journals, tracking devices, little project management tools to share with you so that if you have an idea or a question that you may want to share, feel free to link it down below. But in any case, whatever I share today, I hope it will be of assistance to you as maybe you're transitioning into a new job or maybe you're going back to school. This may be your final lap as a graduate, so don't get senioritis. You got to stay focused so you can cross the line. We all believe in the spirit of excellence here in TOC Town. So that's a little bit of backdrop. You know that in season 6 we're bridging everything through, and for 2016 we're going back to basics. So what does that mean? We're going back through Motivational Monday, Travel Tuesday, Writers Wednesday, Chief Artisan Thursday, SBO Working Weekend. We also have SBO Saturday Solution Season. Even though I don't post on Sunday, certain times from the Sila Sunday section, I will post something that is thought provoking or something that I was thinking about, hoping that it will minister to some of the bloggists in our sphere. Okay, so I think I mentioned already that I graduated from Loyola University, and in order to be admitted into Loyola, I had to participate in a summer program. It was called the LEAP program. Well, that was life altering because during that little summer session, I had to learn how to take notes, see just college life from a different perspective. It was very overwhelming for me. So they made it a lot easier to try and understand how to use time management tools as well as how to view the lifestyle in general. So what I'm going to do is for a season 7, which is actually coming up not too far away. It's coming up this fall in October for 2016 into 2017. I actually dug out my transcripts and looked through the classes that I've taken, and I wanted to highlight my freshman, my sophomore, my junior, and my senior year. And one thing I like about the planner community is you can pick up different things. I've already talked about Ninja Mom Designs. This is the paper clip that I printed on 110-pound stock paper, cardstock, and I glue gunned it to a paper clip. And I chose to use the bullet journal system once again for note taking. This thing has revolutionized my life because it's so adaptable to different systems, especially now that I'm more artistic in my thinking. You can fit it to even fit your style of learning. Like, I'm more visual, but there are students who are auditory learners. So, a lot of the flexibility I wanted to incorporate in utilizing these journals. So, and you know that I do environmental studies, so college is a whole another universe in and of itself. So, a system that you can use to adapt to your learning style until you can get, used to how you're supposed to take note taking, after test results come in, how you should adjust here and there to pretty much perfect your learning system based on the information that you're fed. I did a session with Jackie Somerville, which I'll link down below, of the college atmosphere and some of the things that we discussed for our travel agency. They're going to throw a lot of information your way that you haven't seen, you've never heard before. So it's not that you have to write everything down, but you have to learn the system of note taking so that the important information is gathered. There's also another college student that she writes down how she takes note taking, so I'll also link her down below. She does an excellent job. If you hear me rustling papers, that's me taking notes after I did the first session. I mean, the quality of recording was staticky, so I had to redo it. So let me continue going through my supplies here. And of course, my notepads that I'm going to use to washi tape them onto the page to do my daily note taking, and then afterwards I'll write them into the actual notebook. Hopefully they make sense, because you know how it is when you write notes down, then you need to remember what were you thinking when you wrote them down. So, yeah. Okay, that's the bullet journal system. And I know that within the system you have to attach a legend or a key code to it. So what I decided to do was, first I'm showing you the pen that I'm going to be using, which is the Sharpie pen. I left it in the spiral section. Even though I left it in there, it's hard to turn the book, but it's a great place to keep it until I can figure out a new system to keep up with my pens. I think I'm going to interject some of the original recording because I feel like I said so much, and how to remember things is not that easy, even if you wrote books. I mean, if you wrote your thoughts down. So, what I'm going to do is insert some of the original recording. So, if you can't understand what I'm saying during that session, of course, leave some comments or questions down below. I can always take this out because this is attached with the tape petty, which is not washy. It's a little bit plasticky, so you have to use scissors in order to cut it. You can't just, rip it off and then go. But it does come off a lot easier than regular tape, and then you can stick it right back on. Okay, my little clip. And this is my index that I put in the beginning, which is also, the table of contents, what we used to call it in my day. Let me straighten this page out a little bit. I left 4 pages for that. And then I started my what they call future planning. So I put all of the months in 2016. And what I did was 6 months on one side and 6 months on the other. Usually what transpires within a year is going to be okay for this amount of spacing, because usually I don't use this for day-to-day planning. This is just a special projects kind of bullet journal. So with that, this will be more than enough room for me. You may want to design it different, but this is one idea that you can use. Okay, and then this page is blank. Then another thing that came with, oh yeah, this was attached with the paper clip. Hold on. and I did number my pages at the bottom. So this paper is really like a cardstock quality I found, and then I punched it with my special puncher on the corners and made it like a paper divide. And also when I need to write, on a flat surface, let me turn to a blank page. When I write on a flat surface, it's right there. So with that, and then I color coded this first planner, with tape Betty. So this, I'm going to probably laminate it and use it as a dashboard slash page marker. The other great thing that it does is when you stand it on its side, it still peeks out at the end, which is a good thing because then I can flip directly to the page that I'm on. So I like that quality about it. So I decided not to change it. I was going to cut it, and make dividers out of it, but that's still, in the making. Like I said, the season doesn't begin till October. So that's one book. Then the next book, let me move this out of the way. Then the next book, I decided to use it as notes for my YouTube channel. Anytime I'm watching, there are a couple people that they've been in the business arena. That's my specialty. So, you have to find your major, your people, that know your language so that when you start diving into what studies you're going to start pursuing, those people have been there, done that kind of experience. So for me, even though I majored in marketing, I have a minor in sociology. A lot of these basic videos are pretty much general education. You have to take the basics. So I actually pulled out my. Actually went back to Loyola one day and got my old grades. So in the fall, I'm going to be giving you a little highlights of some of the classes that I've taken. The general electives, as well as how I decided to group some of my electives that I had to take and decided to minor in sociology. And with all of that drama came choosing my major. So I can't wait to tell you that story, later this season. Okay, so of course, my notepad that I use here to put in little notes and then stick them back in. Actually, a few channels I do want to recommend to you if you're interested in going into being a small business owner, or depending upon your different fields. A lot of what we offer in tlctown.com, we try and give you different perspectives of different people in different industries. We call them chief artisans. And also we do training sessions, and we have a chief artisan Thursday that we interview some of our people. So go ahead and check out the site. It's under Chief Artisan Thursdays tab, and you just click on one person, and there's going to be a description there right next to them about who they are and what they do and the content that they contributed to TLC Town. But a couple people I wanted to highlight was Nicole from helpmamaremote.com, and also check out His and Her Money. There are a couple which they teach you how to manage money. That's one thing I would definitely want to do different, is learn how to manage my money, because a lot of the decisions that you're going to make in college, they're going to require a lot of money, and not necessarily in the amount, but even if you spend $1 here or $1 there, they add up. They have tips of the financial trade, which you don't get caught up into credit, and all that debt. Trust me, 20 years later, it doesn't look any better. Sorry, I had to take a call there. Okay, so back to where I was filming earlier. We were talking about debt and not really taking on any debt. I'm in a position where I'm actually going to be getting out of debt thankfully this year. So that's a whole nother subject that we're going to discuss later on this season. But make sure to search out His and Her Money. And also, if you haven't found out, Vistaprint is a good company to research. Fiverr.com, that's a whole nother empire within itself for inexpensive price. And also, I want to get back into Nashville Wraps. They offer a lot of packaging deals for small business owners. So those are the companies I would recommend to you if you're not only going into small business, but need some ideas, some insights in how to plan and how to construct a lot of the things that you need to make a decision on. These have great video blogs that we've been doing now since 2013. So, okay. Trying to make sure. Oh, okay. Also, I started color coding with Sweet Stamp Shop and trying to use my planner as a project manager. That's why I said that even though the original design by Ryan is really good, my taste has really changed to bring, a lot more color. And now that I'm studying in the Caribbean and around and about the U.S., I decided to color code. So even though I wanted to share with you, even though I messed up in one of the stamps, I devised a cool way to just still keep using it as a flag. And that way you may or may not see the stamp, but no one's really going to look that close. It's your planner. So even if you mess up in this one, you can always redesign it. This can be the title for something, and then what we're planning on doing in TLC Town Local for one video on Travel Tuesday, and also for SBO Saturday Solution Season. Another thing I wanted to mention is that we also have Cold Blue Quick Cast, which is something that we share within our community solutions that we've come across that you may or may not know about. So anytime we have a great idea, we do a video blog on it. We try to keep it under 1 minute, but there are times when it goes, a few minutes. It's usually under 5 minutes, but check out our blog for Cold Blue Quickcast. That's on the Team One blogosphere. And TLC Town Local, which is bringing you this video blog today. See, and I went ahead and pre-stamped them so I didn't have to waste time figuring out which stamp I want to do. As you know, since we separated the channels, the blue is for TLC Town Local, and the red, which is normally YouTube color anyway, but this is more of a crimson color. And we decided to do red for TLC Town Express. And my little note paper, I attached this in case I want to jot down some notes and then write it in for the channel later on. See, I made another mistake, but I was able to correct it, thankfully, with the Crayola pencils. And just in case you were wondering, this is a stamp set that I chose to use for this booklet journal. It's called Plan to Work. So it uses all the social media titles that you would normally use, like edit, deadline, and one thing that I really like is where is it? Password and also invoicing. You have to track your billables, but this is small business ownership discussion, which we'll go more into for Chief Artisan Thursday, but we're going to stick to just being in college for this session. Okay, last but not least, I decided to do a page for Chief Artisan Thursdays. Those that travel and also do training. So any travel tips for event planners and also certified travel agents, which I am one. And I'm going to be including some of those pages for the fall. So I used the little, I don't know if you can see it. Okay, this is the stamp that I actually used for the geotag, and it had gotten hard over the years. This is actually the first, well, one of the first stamps that I bought, and it's a pigment ink called All Night Media. And this is the very, 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 very first stamp that I decided to purchase when I first started stamping. As you can see, I actually use it. This is actually stamped on as, this is actually this color here. Let me move it up a little bit closer. Here, this color here. So yeah, it comes out nice and crimson kind of color that I like. So I don't like that bright, bright, bright red. Okay, and I think that's it for this update. The next book, I'm going to be using it for, more notes. And last but not least is my debt tracking, note-taking journal. So I'm going to be using this to get out of debt. I'm going to be starting the baby steps of Dave Ramsey's. One thing that he recommends is to get $1,000 in emergency fund first. And then another thing I want to bring up is the good policy, which is get out of debt. I can't tell you how long I've been trying to just stabilize my finances. So a lot of the videos that I've been watching on YouTube have rekindled that desire to go ahead and get out of debt completely and just keep, maintenance. So thankfully I'm going to get started once again, this year by trying to do, jobs here and there, and also promote my travel agency. So that was another thing that I wish I would have known while I was in college, is not only did I work while I was in school, but I wish I knew like how important it was to just maintain a debt-free lifestyle. So, that's the update that I have for you today for the Chief Artisan Thursday. I hope some things that I had to present today give you some insight in how to plan your college days, but also, your small business. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Feel free to also visit tlctown.com. Drop us a note in the guest book. Check out our Team One blogosphere. There are women that get together to share some insight in being not only a homeschool mom, but also small business owners and leaders within their community. So that's a lot for me to share today. I hope you do have questions. I hope you're building your own business. If you are, let us know how you're starting it. And if you need any assistance, I'll be happy to research some people that can give some insight and advice, maybe in your studies. So when you get out of school, it's not necessarily what you know, but it's who you know. So we'd love to be a resource to you. Take care. God bless.